The Western Cape High Court set to deliver its judgment regarding President Cyril Ramaphosa's urgent bid to halt Parliament's Impeachment Committee. The President wants that committee to pause for at least 3 months in anticipation of his application to review the Section 89 independent panel report, which found that he may have a case to answer in the theft at his Phala Phala farm. The matter was heard over 2 days by a full bench of the Western Cape High Court just last week. Let's get you a sense of what to anticipate with SABC News reporter Yamkela Mtshiyo, who joins us now live from just outside the Western Cape High Court. And Yamkela, a number of arguments were made or advanced by the president's lawyers, including this idea that he'd suffer irreparable harm if the impeachment committee were to go ahead. Help us carve out the different scenarios as we wait for that outcome at around 10 o'clock.
Good morning to you and good morning to the viewers as well. As you have rightfully said, Vemchungov, who is the legal representative of the president, did argue that if the president appears before that impeachment committee that relies on an independent report that is said to be reviewed, might suffer irreparable harm, and also saying that it's going to damage his reputation. Something that the legal representative of the opposition parties argued, saying that the president knew when he accepted the offer to come into the office, he knew that there would be such processes where he will have to come and account before the impeachment committee, and also that the harm that he's speaking about is merely what he is doing right now and trying to interdict the processes of the impeachment committee when he came to this Western Cape High Court. So the legal representatives criticize that argument vastly. And what the other point that we're raising is that the court does not have jurisdiction to rule on that matter, saying that the Constitutional Court has made a ruling. Therefore, the impeachment committee must continue to do its work. And we've heard the impeachment committee as well saying that they want to continue with their work. They had already started, their lawyer said that, and the chairperson of the impeachment committee, that is Makashule Ghana, did mention that they had already started with their work. The impeachment committee was established, the chairperson, that is him, was elected, so they are continuing with their work until the court tells them to halt their process. We understand that during the week they had meetings where they were looking at the election of the evidence leader, something that they are looking to finalize by the end of today, and also looking at the terms of references. Makashule Ghana did mention that by the end of this month they should have been able to figure out how they are going to go about doing that process in Parliament. During this week as well, we did manage to speak to the Speaker of the Parliament, that is Toko Didiza, and she told us that she is awaiting to hear what this court is going to rule on, and that she respects all the arms of the state. Therefore, she is going to respect the decision that the court takes. This is a critical moment for the president, a critical moment for the country and for the impeachment committee as well. So we are drawing closer and closer to that period where this impeachment, or rather the Western Cape High Court, will give a clear direction as to what is going to happen with regards to that impeachment process in Parliament.
Yeah, speaking about the respect for the different arms of state, Yamkela, we do know that one of the perhaps more predictable issues that are going to be raised is this concept of the separation of powers. In other words, making sure that the courts do not encroach on the work of Parliament. That point was raised when the arguments were made. How was it dealt with?
Indeed, it was made by the legal representatives of the opposition parties, and the legal representative of the ATM also told the court to stay in its lane, saying that this is not something that they could rule on. But Vemchungov insisted that the court can, in fact, tell the impeachment committee to halt its processes, because it is merely halting them pending that review of the report of the independent panel. So they're saying that saying that the president is unable to appear before that committee.
Yeah. At the heart of it is also questions around public accountability, which I'm sure would be important for ordinary South Africans who are watching today's proceedings. This idea that the president, like everybody else in this country, should be hauled before any kind of constitutionally mandated body, including this committee, to account if they need to?
It is the argument, indeed, that was brought before the court by the legal representative, saying that the president knew there are these processes that he has to go through. He knows that he has to account for the work that he's been doing. And Vemtrengov saying that, but it's going to be a humiliation, so the president must be protected. And him accepting that responsibility does not mean that he has to be humiliated before such committees. So yes, that argument was raised, in fact, by these legal representatives here, saying that it is something that the president has to do. He has to account. He is the leader of South Africa, so people must know exactly what is going on. They must know exactly what happened during that Phala Phala report.